Now that you have your graphical interface set up the way that we would like you to have it set up, and you understand a little bit more what the menu options are, we're ready to build our first program. The first thing that you need to do is to take your white USB dongle that allows the laptop to communicate with the mBot and insert it into your USB port. So what we need to do now is we need to connect. So if you see the red dot here, that means it's disconnected. So in order to connect it, we will go up to connect, down to 2.4G serial, and then click connect. Now this button here, or this option here, should turn to green. If it does not turn to green, make sure that your mBot is actually turned on. Okay, so let's see if we can try this again and connect. Not really sure why it's not working. Let's troubleshoot a little bit here. Connect, 2.4G, connect. There we go. Okay. So now it turns to green, which lets you know everything's okay. And then if you go back up here to connect and click the 2.4G serial, you'll see that there is a check mark next to the connect. Okay, so now it's time to build the program. And as you build the program, you can test it out to see if it's working, but I would prefer that you finish the program first so that once you have the program built, if it's not doing exactly what you want it to do, you can go through your entire program and kind of figure out maybe where you made the mistake after watching the mBot. Okay, so what we're going to do here with every program that we build from here on out, unless we tell you otherwise, is we're going to start under the robots command. So go ahead and click on the robots command if it's not already selected. And the first thing that you always want to start with is this mBot program command. So to add it to your workspace and to start creating your program, you simply just drag and drop over to your workspace. So we have that. Now I have your challenge written up here, and for your challenge I want you to incorporate the following things into your mBot program, and I will leave this up on the board or on the screen so that you'll see it when we're done, or you can also just leave this screencast up if you happen to have to watch the screencast again to get a little bit more understanding. So these are the things that I want you to do. So we're going to go over the speeds, the directions, and how to add time, and how to make sure that our mBot comes to a complete stop. So those are the three things that I'm going to show you how to do. So what we want it to do is we want it to run at a specific speed, so we'll use this command here. It says run forward at speed 0, and you notice the down arrows, which lets you know that there are more options. So you can run forward, you can run backward, you can turn right, or you can turn left. Well, I only want you to use the forward or the backward directions for this. So since I'm a left-hander and people say that left-handers live life backwards, I'm going to start my program out going backwards. Okay, so I want it to go at a speed of 100. Okay, so now I want it to run backwards for a certain amount of time. If I don't put anything else on here and I start my program, and to start the program you just double click here on mBot program. If I were to start my program right now, my mBot would run backwards until it ran into something, or something obstructed its path and made it stop. So what I wanted to do is I want to add a time interval to this. So how long do I want it to run backwards? So what we'll do is go to the control menu, and at the very top here you see wait 1 second. So we'll add this up here, and I want mine to run backwards for 5 seconds. Okay, so now, or at least, I want mine to run backwards at a speed of 100 for 5 seconds. So another thing that I can do is go back over to the robots menu and have it continue running backwards, but I can change the speed and have it run backward, let's say at 255, which means it would increase. Now these are not really speeds, they're more of ranges, so try not to think about them as speeds, but really don't think about them as ranges. Just know that the higher the number, the faster they go. And make sure that you are not using the negative numbers. If you use the negative numbers, it's actually going to cause it to go in the opposite direction. So if you used a negative 100, it would actually send it forward at 100. Okay, so now if I were to start my program right now, it would run backwards at a speed of 100 for 5 seconds, and then it would start running backwards at a faster speed of 255 until something obstructed its path, or it ran into something or something got in the way. Because there is no stop here, there's nothing else on here to tell it to do anything else. So what I want to do is add another time, and I want it to go at 255, let's say for 3 seconds. Okay, and if you notice I have two backwards here, I want you to use two different directions, so only one of these is going to count. I'm just showing you different things that it can do. So after I want it to wait 3 seconds, actually I'm going to want it to stop before I have it go forward. Now there's two ways that you can add a stop. You can add a stop by having it run in any direction at a speed of 0. If it's running at a speed of 0, it is sitting still. Just think of it as if you're in the car and you're going 0 miles per hour, you're not going anywhere. So you can do it that way. I don't like doing it this way because since you have certain parameters that I want you to create in this program, I don't want you to get confused thinking that this is one of your directions, because it's not. So let's take that off. And if you ever make a mistake, you just drag and drop back over here to your command area. So what we want to do is we want the motors to stop. So if the motors turn off and stop, then it's not going to go anywhere. And since you have two motors, you have to put two statements here, or two commands here. So we're going to set motor M1 to speed 0 and set motor M2 to speed 0. Now I only want it to stay stopped for about 2 seconds. So now we have to go and add another time here. So let's put 2 seconds. And after those 2 seconds, I want it to move forward. So then we just simply drag and drop the next command over and have it run forward at a speed of 50. And I want to have it run forward at a speed of 50 for 10 seconds. Try to keep all of your speeds, all of your time intervals under 10 seconds. Okay, so now what I want it to do is come to a complete stop. That's the very last thing that I want your program to do. So what you'll need to do now is basically just redo this. So you'll just drag and drop your set motor speeds over and change this one to M2 and make sure they stay there. Okay, so let's check to make sure that we have everything. So it says 3 speeds, so we have backward and we have forward and we have stop. Excuse me, 3 speeds. We have the 100, the 255, the 0, and the 50. So you can do it that way. We have 2 different directions. We have backward and forward. We have 3 different time intervals. We actually have 4. We added more. Stop has to be one of the speeds, which we did incorporate here. And we want to make sure that the mBot comes to a complete stop at the end of the program. And here we are. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead and show you live in person this program running. But first I wanted to also let you know that if you finish early, you may incorporate one more command. And what I would like for you to do is, using the repeat command, set your program up to repeat 3 times. We're going to incorporate this in another programming session, but see if you can figure it out first. So without any user interaction, after you double click the mBot program and start your program, I don't want you to be able to touch it again before it completes 3 rounds of this. So set your program up to where it will repeat this. See if you can figure that out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you this program running, and in order to start the program, like I said, you just double click here on the program. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you this live, and then you will have a chance to ask any questions and go ahead and work with your partner on creating your first program. I will leave this up on the screen if you need to see, or if you don't remember what we are asking you to do, and make sure that you get this completed and show to either Dr. Batten or I before you leave today, in order to be able to move on to future and more complicated programs. And I will show you one of those programs that we're going to do, and it's using your sensor plate to follow a figure 8 track, a figure 8 styled racetrack. Okay, and in the future we'll also create commands to where you will actually race against another partnership or another group. So these are some things that we can do, but first we have to learn how to create basic navigation programs for the mBot. All right, if you have any questions, just ask Dr. Batten or I.